Hey everyone, Phi Farley. It's December 28th. Happy Friday, everybody. We are on the verge of a holiday weekend. Tons of bowl action coming out there. NBA, college basketball is back in full swing today, which I will have a basketball best bet, college basketball best bet coming out there. So don't forget to check out that video. And if you haven't subscribed, liked, shared, hit the notification bell to get my other picks, please do so. We got college best bets coming out each day. We got NFL picks that'll be coming out today. We got the bowl picks that have been coming out. Today's one of my biggest days with the 3 games today. Some of my favorite bowls are going to be played today. So I'll be in tune with that. But meanwhile, I want to get my NBA best bet out here for you. Coming off a loss, a little disappointed in the way Sacramento took so long to come back. They win the game, but they don't cover the 4. I was worried about that 4. And one of my viewers made a comment about that Kings wasn't going to be the right side. A couple other colorful comments about it, but they were right. So looking to bounce back today with a best bet in NBA. So before I get into that, though, one interesting note about this team. If you log on to ESPN very often, you'll have seen a story about the stadiums across all of the professional sports. And it was 200 stadiums that they had looked at for cleanliness and for food prep and that kind of thing. The number one worst stadium in all of professional sports was Charlotte. I think it's called the Spectrum Center, something like that, in Charlotte, North Carolina. I read some of the reviews of what was found at the worst stadium, and one of the reviews said, well, one, there was beer leaking from the ceiling. Don't know how that happens. But another one was that individuals throughout the stadium had a hard time consistently choosing whether food should be stored, cooked, or served. That's a large separation between stored and served. I mean, you have a bag of frozen corn dogs and you don't know whether to store that or serve that. That's a problem. That's a really big problem. And it was consistently found in multiple locations throughout the stadium. Holy cow. Don't eat the food in Charlotte. Bottom line, don't eat the food in Charlotte. So we're going to Charlotte here. Brooklyn Nets, they're on a back-to-back. I think we got a good spot here taking Charlotte. Kemba Walker was pissed at the end of that Brooklyn Nets game where officiating wasn't really on his side, wasn't hitting the shot. I mean, he scored 35. He was on fire. I look for him to carry that momentum into this game. Typically on a back-to-back where you're playing the same team, in consecutive nights or with a day break, in between each other, you're typically going to have the game flop from one team to the other. One team stays the same, the other team makes adjustments. Of course, the winning team's going to stay the same, the losing team's going to make adjustments, and that's commonly going to either get the game closer or it'll flip the result to the other side. So that's the case. If we look at Charlotte, they've had a couple of these. They had a back-to-back against Chicago. They lost the first one by 2. They won the second one by 29. Similarly, let's see, later they had one against Atlanta in November, lost at Atlanta by 1, and then came back and won by 14 at home. Is there another one? I think they had one more. New York, except for this was the opposite. They won at New York by 12, played New York again, lost by 2. So it flipped the result. Brooklyn hasn't really had many of these. Most every single other team has. Brooklyn is not. Of course, the opposition would say, well, Brooklyn is on fire right now. They're a hard team to beat. They started a streak of 9 of the last 10 at 8-18. They're now up to 17-19. But I will say this, they haven't played a lot of tough opponents on the road. They played Philly and won at Philly, which is impressive. But other than that, it was the Knicks and the Bulls on the road. And the Charlotte Hornets are a good team at home. They're 12-7. All that bad food hasn't really fazed them. May have phased their fans and what happens in the bathrooms there, but it's not phasing the team. So 12-7 at home. Look for them to bounce back here. Don't expect them to lose 3 straight. I think they're going to bounce back with a big win at home. I don't think the 5 will be an issue, so I'm laying the 5 with the Charlotte Hornets. All right, best bet NBA, Charlotte Hornets -5. Good luck, everyone, today. We'll see you again soon.